Picture this. You're sitting in a car dealership, and the salesperson slides a piece of paper across the desk. Just $399 a month, they say with a smile. Sounds great, right? But here's what they're not telling you, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how much that deal is really costing you. I'm Mike, and today we're settling one of the most heated debates in personal finance once and for all. Should you lease or buy your next car? Because in 2026, with interest rates still elevated and the average car payment breaking records every month, making the wrong choice could cost you tens of thousands of dollars. Before we get started, if you're new here, I spent years studying finance and investment, and I create content to help you make smarter money decisions. If you find this video helpful, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It's free, it helps the channel grow, and you'll get notified whenever I drop new financial content. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on the strategies we're covering this year. Now let's talk about cars. The question of whether to lease or buy comes up constantly, and depending on who you ask, people have very strong opinions. But here's the thing, opinions don't matter. Math matters. Today, we're going to break down the actual numbers, look at real-world examples, and figure out which option truly makes more financial sense in 2026. First, let's talk about where we are right now. The automotive market in 2026 looks dramatically different from just a few years ago. According to recent data, the average monthly payment for a new car has reached an eye-watering $748. For used cars, it's $532. These aren't just numbers on a screen. These are real monthly obligations that impact millions of American families. Interest rates are a huge part of this story. The average interest rate for new car loans currently sits at approximately 6.56%, while used car loans average around 11.40%. Compare that to just a few years ago when rates were hovering around 3 to 4%, and you can see why so many people are feeling the pinch. Nearly 20% of new car buyers are now committing to monthly payments exceeding $1,000. And more than 22% are stretching their loans out to 84 months. That's 7 years of car payments. This affordability crisis has created an interesting dynamic. Leasing, which had fallen to only about 17 to 18% of new car transactions during the pandemic, is making a major comeback. Manufacturers are rolling out aggressive lease offers because they want to keep customers engaged with their brands. For many shoppers, leasing has become an attractive way to bypass the high financing costs associated with buying. Let's start by demystifying what happens when you lease a car. When you lease, you're essentially renting the vehicle for a set period, typically 2 to 4 years, with 3 years being the most common term. During this time, you make monthly payments, but here's the key difference from buying. You never own the car. Your monthly lease payment covers 4 main components. First, there's depreciation. Cars lose value over time, and when you lease, you're paying for how much the car's value drops during your lease term. If a car is worth $30,000 at the start of your lease and $20,000 at the end of 3 years, you're essentially covering that $10,000 loss in value. Second, your payment includes a finance charge or interest. The dealership is lending you the use of the car, and they charge you for that privilege. Third, you're covering any applicable taxes. And fourth, there are various fees associated with the lease agreement. The reason lease payments are typically lower than financing payments is simple. You're only paying for the depreciation during your lease term, not the full value of the vehicle. You're also not building any equity. If you use your vehicle for business purposes, you may be able to deduct lease payments as a business expense, potentially saving 20-30% on your effective car costs. Some jurisdictions also allow you to pay sales tax only on your monthly lease payments rather than the full vehicle value, creating additional savings. Technology enthusiasts who prioritize having the latest safety features, infotainment systems, and driver assistance technologies might also prefer leasing. Every few years, you can upgrade to a vehicle with cutting-edge features without worrying about selling or trading in your old car. Low-mileage drivers can also benefit. If you consistently drive fewer than 12,000 miles per year, you won't hit those expensive mileage overage charges that can run 0.15 to 0.30 per mile. Most leases include comprehensive warranty coverage during the entire lease term, meaning you have minimal maintenance costs and no unexpected repair bills. There's also the lifestyle factor. Some people simply enjoy driving a new car every few years. If changing vehicles regularly brings you genuine happiness and fits within your budget, that's a valid consideration. Personal finance isn't just about maximizing every dollar. It's about aligning your spending with your values and preferences. For most people in most situations, buying a vehicle is the financially superior choice. The numbers don't lie. You'll typically save thousands of dollars by purchasing rather than leasing, especially if you plan to keep the vehicle for 5 years or more. High-mileage drivers should almost always buy. If you drive more than 15,000 miles per year, lease overage penalties can cost you $750 to $1,300 annually. That's money you're throwing away that could have gone toward building equity in a vehicle you own. With a purchased car, there are no mileage restrictions whatsoever. Long-term ownership is where buying truly shines. After you pay off your loan, typically in 5 to 6 years, you own an asset that still has value. Even a 10-year-old vehicle can be worth thousands of dollars. Meanwhile, if you're perpetually leasing, you're always making payments without ever building equity. Those payments never end. Freedom is another major advantage of ownership. Want to modify your car with a new sound system, window tint, or performance upgrades? Go ahead, it's yours. Leasing contracts typically forbid modifications, and you'll pay penalties for any alterations when you return the vehicle. Research consistently shows that buying saves most drivers between $2,000 and $8,000 over a 6-year period compared to leasing. That's real money that could fund your emergency savings, contribute to your retirement, or help with a down payment on a home. Neither leasing nor buying is as simple as just looking at monthly payments. There are hidden costs and considerations that can significantly impact your total expense. When leasing, the advertised payment you see in commercials typically doesn't include taxes and fees. If you're not paying these up front, your actual monthly payment could be significantly higher than what's promoted. You'll also face disposition fees when you return the vehicle, usually several $100s. Any excess wear and tear scratches, dents, stained upholstery can result in additional charges. And if you decide you don't like the car or need to get out of the lease early termination fees can be substantial. When buying, depreciation is your biggest enemy. New cars can lose more than 20% of their value in the first year alone. If you need to sell or trade in your car within the first few years, you might owe more on your loan than the car is worth, a situation called being upside down or having negative equity. Maintenance and repair costs also fall entirely on you once the warranty expires. However, strategic buying can minimize these costs, particularly if you choose vehicles known for reliability and strong resale value. If you're in the market for a vehicle this year, here are some concrete strategies to make the smartest financial decision. First, always negotiate, regardless of whether you're leasing or buying. Many people assume lease payments are fixed, but they're not. The capitalized cost, essentially the price of the car in a lease, can be negotiated just like a purchase price. Getting that number down by even a few $1,000s can significantly reduce your monthly payment. Second, shop your financing before you step into a dealership. Banks, credit unions, and online lenders all offer auto loans, and their rates can vary significantly. Getting pre-approved gives you leverage and ensures you're not overpaying on financing. For leasing, check the manufacturer's website to see what incentives and offers are available in your area before visiting the dealership. Third, be realistic about your driving habits. Track your current mileage for a few months. If you're consistently over 15,000 miles per year, leasing probably doesn't make sense. If you're under 10,000 miles annually, you might be able to negotiate a lower mileage lease with a better monthly payment. Fourth, consider the total cost of ownership, not just the monthly payment. Yes, a 7-year loan will have a lower monthly payment than a 5-year loan, but you'll pay significantly more in interest. Run the numbers on what you'll actually pay over the life of the loan or lease. Fifth, think long-term. If you're the type of person who typically keeps vehicles for 7, 10, or even 15 years, buying is almost always the right choice. The longer you keep a paid-off vehicle, the more money you save. After analyzing all the data, running the numbers, and examining real-world scenarios, here's my conclusion. Buying is cheaper for the vast majority of people in the vast majority of situations. The math consistently shows that purchasing a vehicle and keeping it for 5 years or more saves you thousands of dollars compared to leasing. Even if you buy and sell after 3 years, you typically come out ahead. The primary exceptions are luxury vehicles with extreme depreciation, business use cases with tax advantages, and situations where you genuinely need to change vehicles every few years. However, and this is important, cheaper isn't always better if it doesn't align with your lifestyle and values. If you're someone who genuinely enjoys driving new cars, can afford the premium that leasing entails, and understands you're paying extra for that privilege, that's a perfectly valid choice. Personal finance is personal. The key is making an informed decision with your eyes wide open to the true costs. The worst financial decision is making no decision at all, or making a decision based on marketed monthly payments without understanding the full picture. Whether you choose to lease or buy, make sure you've run the numbers for your specific situation, considered your driving habits, evaluated your long-term plans, and chosen the option that aligns with both your financial goals and your lifestyle priorities. So here's what I want you to do. If you're in the market for a car in 2026, take the following steps. 1. Calculate your real-world driving needs. How many miles do you actually drive per year? Be honest with yourself. 2. Check your credit score and get pre-approved for financing from at least 3 different sources. Credit unions often offer the best rates for auto loans. 3. Research the specific vehicles you're considering. Look up their depreciation rates, reliability ratings, and typical lease residual values. Websites like Consumer Reports and automotive research sites provide this data. 4. Run the numbers for your specific situation using both a lease and purchase scenario. Include all costs, down payment, monthly payments, insurance differences, maintenance, and potential resale value or lease-end costs. 5. Be honest about your timeline. Are you someone who keeps vehicles for a decade, or do you get the itch for something new every few years? 6. Factor in your complete financial picture. That monthly payment isn't happening in isolation. How does it impact your ability to save for retirement, build an emergency fund, or achieve other financial goals? The car you drive is likely one of your largest expenses after housing. Making the right decision between leasing and buying can save you thousands of dollars over your lifetime. In 2026, with interest rates elevated and vehicle prices at record highs, these decisions matter more than ever. Remember, the goal isn't to have the newest car or the lowest monthly payment. The goal is to meet your transportation needs in a way that supports your overall financial health and moves you toward your long-term financial goals. Sometimes that means buying a 3-year-old certified pre-owned vehicle instead of a brand new one. Sometimes it means driving your current car for a few more years while you save up for a larger down payment. Whatever you decide, make it an informed decision based on facts, numbers, and a clear-eyed assessment of your personal situation. Don't let a salesperson's pitch or a flashy commercial sway you from what makes sense for your finances. If you found this breakdown helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. I'm Mike, and I'll be releasing more content throughout 2026, covering financial topics just like this, strategies and analysis designed to help you make smarter money decisions. And hey, even if you decide this content isn't for you down the road, that's totally fine. But I hope you'll stick around, because we're just getting started. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.